Hipfig Travel Channel offers DIY travel video guides for more than 25 cities in Asia, US, and Canada. If you like this video, then subscribe, give us a thumbs up, or a comment. Hello, welcome to Hipfig's Beautiful America series episode for Arches National Park in Utah. Hipfig's Beautiful America series is dedicated to highlighting nature's wonders in American and Canadian national parks, monuments, and vistas. Arches National Park is located in Moab, Utah, and one of the Big 5 Utah national parks. Did you know that this national park, Arches, has over 2,000 natural stone arches in it? It does, and it also has hundreds of soaring pinnacles, enormous fins, and giant balanced rocks, and many, many trails. Arches is an amazing place to hike along its red-hued stone formations, watch sunsets, and then bask in the stars and the moon. Our national park travel guides are designed for you to plan your own trip to places like Arches National Park. Let us know by commenting below if Hipfig's free travel guides are helpful to you. This Hipfig Arches National Park travel guide will provide information on how to get to Arches, what to see once you get there, and provide helpful tips for your trip to Arches National Park. Arches National Park is located along US Highway 191 near Moab, Utah. Moab, Utah is a large town with lots of hotels, restaurants, shops, and gas stations. This is a good place to stay and refill your supplies. Arches National Park entrance is north about 5 miles on US Highway 191 from Moab, Utah. There is no public transportation inside Arches National Park. You may need to rent a car, ride a bike, or take a tour to get to and around inside this Arches National Park. From Salt Lake City, Arches National Park is about 236 miles and takes about 4 hours by car. From Capitol Reef National Park in Utah, it's an about 2-hour drive if you drive without any stops. Please use your GPS from your location and make sure to download the maps to your phone as the cell service is spotty in several areas. We stayed overnight in Moab and headed early at 8 a.m. for Arches National Park. We drove 5 miles north on Main Street, which is also US Highway 191. After we passed the end of the town of Moab and crossed the Colorado River Bridge, we found the entrance of Arches National Park on our right-hand side. Signs for Arches National Park is clearly marked along US Highway 191. From US Highway 191, we made a right to the entrance of the park. There is a turnoff on the right-hand side near the sign at this Arches National Park if you want to take pictures. We continued to the toll booth where you'll have to pay an entrance fee or show an interagency or annual pass to the ranger. The fee for a car and all passengers up to 15 people is $30. The fee for motorcycles and all riders is $25. The fee for bicyclists, hikers, and pedestrians is $15. Youths 15 and under are admitted free. We showed our National Parks Interagency Pass, which is $80 to the ranger, and got a park map. An interagency pass is good for 1 year and might be worth purchasing if you're going to other national parks in Utah or elsewhere in the United States. There is also the Southeast Utah Parks Pass for $55, which is also valid for 1 year to Arches Canyonlands National Park and National Bridges National Monument. There were a lot of people when we got there, and the line was long even this early in the morning, at Arches National Park entrance. The Arches Visitor Center is located 1 mile from the entrance to the right after the toll booth. Since Arches National Park is open 24 hours, you might want to arrive before 7 a.m. and go around the park, then visit the Visitor Center in the afternoon when it is the hottest, or you can arrive after 3 p.m., especially during the peak summer season. The Arches National Park Visitor Center is open every day except for December 25th. This Visitor Center at Arches is generally open from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. For your information, the restrooms and water fountains at this Visitor Center is available 24 hours, 7 days a week. At the Visitor Center, you can talk to rangers, get a Junior Ranger book, fill up water for the day, and use the restrooms. You can also watch the park film Windows in Time, which plays every 30 minutes, and look at the displays inside and outside the Visitor Center. Once we completed our time at the Visitor Center, we entered into the park. We drove along a steep two-way curving road up the mountain. As we were driving, we were mesmerized by the hues of oranges and reds and the massive size of the rock formations. We've been here several times over the years, and Arches never ceases to impress. We always discover something new as the area is continuously changing due to the wind and water erosion. Here's a safety note. Please don't speed in the park. Drive the speed limit for your safety and others in the park. And park or pull out only in designated areas. Even though there are many people in the park is so large, almost 120 square miles, that you can still feel like you're in a remote and pristine area if you come at the right times. As you enter into the national park, the first major area stop is the area called Park Avenue and the Courthouse Towers. We parked in the parking lot and walked on the paved path to the viewpoint. Here you'll see the monolithic towering walls and views of the nearby La Salle Mountains. If you choose, you can hike on Park Avenue Trail, which is classified a moderate trail and is about 2 miles round trip. The trail goes down 320 feet into a canyon and continues down to Courthouse Towers. If you have a person who doesn't want to hike, you can begin at this point and be picked up at the other end. Otherwise, you'll have to return the way you came. Here are some hiking tips. Please make sure to carry at least 1 liter of water per person. Wear good walking shoes and sunscreen, and if it's raining, you may not want to hike due to the danger of slippery surfaces. Please walk only on trails and avoid sandstone basins called ephemeral pools or potholes, which are home to a variety of life in the arches. And finally, do not climb on top of any arches. We continued on the main road to Balanced Rock, which is about 9 miles from the Visitor Center. This teetering giant is 128 feet tall. For your information, this rock formation is not actually balancing. The sandstone rock boulder is sitting attached to its eroding pedestal of Dewey Bridge smudgestone. See it while you can. Eventually, this 3,600-ton boulder will fall down as it's continually eroded and pushed down by gravity. There is an easy 0.3-mile loop trail to the base of the Balanced Rock Formation. Part of the trail is paved and accessible to wheelchairs. Our next stop was to Delicate Arch Viewpoint and Trailhead. Delicate Arch is about 4 miles from Balanced Rock. Continue driving on the main road of the park and make a right at the Delicate Arch sign. Delicate Arch is an iconic symbol of Utah and a very popular spot in Arches National Park. Delicate Arch is the largest freestanding arch in Arches National Park, with an opening beneath the arch of 46 feet high and 32 feet wide. On the road to Delicate Arch, you will come across the trailhead parking and then the parking for the viewpoint area. We parked in the lower Delicate Arch viewpoint parking lot. There is a flat 100-yard paved path to see the delicate arch from 1 mile away. There is usually a ranger-led activity here. Check at the visitor center. This area is wheelchair accessible. If you veer left from the parking lot, you can get a closer look. You can hike up the moderate 1/2 mile trail to the upper viewpoint for a better view of Delicate Arch. The upper Delicate Arch viewpoint is not accessible to wheelchairs, and it has a steep, rocky trail. To see the Delicate Arch up close, you'll have to take the difficult 4-mile Delicate Arch Trail. This trailhead starts at Wolf Ranch, but this parking lot fills up fast. This trail climbs up 480 feet on slick rock with no shade. There's also a narrow rock ledge you'll have to climb and walk on to get to Delicate Arch. Along this trail, visit the Wolf Ranch cabin and the wall of the Ute Indian petroglyphs. We continued from the Delicate Arches area to Devil's Garden, which is another very popular spot in the park. Along the way, you'll see Sand Dune Arch, which is an easy 0.3-mile trail through the sand, which can be hot on summer days. Another place to stop along the way is the Skyline Arch, which is a flat 0.4-mile trail. Both Sand Dune and Skyline Arches at this Arches National Park are easily accessible from the parking lot. The drive time from Arches Visitor Center to Devil's Garden parking lot is approximately 45 minutes. Parking can be an issue during the peak season. If you wait, you might get lucky and find a spot as people come and go regularly. You will need to be patient. There are restrooms and a water refilling station at the parking lot near the trailhead of Devil's Garden. There is a campground at Devil's Garden inside Arches National Park. The Devil's Garden campground is available by reservation from March through October, first come, first served. There's also a day-use picnic area located just south within walking distance of the campground entrance. In the Devil Garden area of Arches National Park, you'll find arches, spires, and narrow rock walls called fins. Fins form when rainwater erodes parallel fractures caused by the uplift of salt deposits below the surface. As fins erode, they form the formation of arches like Landscape Arch. Devil's Garden is particularly popular because of its hiking. The main trail is Devil's Garden Trail. An easy trail is the Landscape Arch Trail, which is part of the difficult Devil's Garden Trail. This relatively 2-mile flat trail follows near tall fins to a spectacular view of Landscape Arch. From the Landscape Arch Trail, you can continue off to Pine Tree Arch or Tunnel Arch on this trail to Landscape Arch. The hike on Devil's Trail becomes difficult after Landscape Arch towards Double O Arch. If you don't want a difficult hike, return back on the trail to return to the parking lot. The 4.2-mile round-trip trail to Double O Arch is considered difficult as it climbs up and on the sandstone fins. You'll be walking on rocky, narrow ledges with steep drop-offs, and you'll have to use your hands and feet to climb over the rocks. The most difficult trail on the Devil's Garden Trail system is the Primitive Trail. By the time we finished our hike at Devil's Garden, it was nearing evening. We headed east to the Windows area between Delicate Arch and Balanced Rock to watch the sunset. The Windows area is 9 miles north on the Park Road and 2.5 miles east on the Windows Road. The drive time from Arches Visitor Center is approximately 25 minutes. The Windows section has the most number of arches in Arches National Park and is one of the most scenic areas. You'll see the North Window, Turret Arch, Double Arch, Garden of Eden, Elephant Butte, and Parade of Elephants. This area is great if you're short on time and want to hike but don't want anything strenuous. This is a good place for the whole entire family. The arches here, created by wind-blown sand, is easily accessible by a paved trail from the parking lot. An easy climb up a gravel trail leads to the massive North Window, South Window, and Turret Arch. Or take the slightly longer Primitive Trail around the windows by starting at the South Window viewpoint. The first 100 yards may be accessible to wheelchairs with some assistance. You can take an easy walk to Double Arch from the other side of the loop road. There's a smaller parking area there. Or you can walk on a trail between the Windows Trailhead and the Double Arch Trailhead. Double Arch is the tallest and second longest arch in the park. The Windows area is amazing and one of my favorite parts of the Arches National Park, especially at dusk. You can see balancing rock as the sun is setting, and what a view it is. Afterward, if there's a full moon, you can walk around gazing at the stars. We recommend at least one full day, if not more, in this breathtaking national park. If you have time, combine your visit with Canyonlands National Park, which is about 26 miles from Arches National Park and about 30 miles from Moab. Arches National Park is a perfect example of desert beauty crafted by nature. It's a definite must-visit if you're in the area. Happy travels! Go to hipfig.com for more information, or go to our Hipfig travel channel on YouTube and be sure to subscribe for regular updates.